Rosie. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah. How are you?
Oh, very well. Very, very well. Thank you. What's the weather like in the UK?
Weather is brilliant actually today for the first time. I've noticed the weather being a bit stable today because usually in the morning we wake up and it's very, cold, and then in the middle there it gets a little bit warm and then goes back to cold. But today has been sort of flat all day,
Yeah.
which is good. Yes. Yeah. Welcome, Catherine. How are you? How is everything going so far?
Oh, pretty good, thanks.
Hmm.
It's similar here. It's threatening to rain.
Hmm.
We've had, but they, honestly, but this is Australian weather. There were reports over the weekend is that we're going to experience a heat wave, but I'm still waiting for it.
Hmm.
And so it was supposed to be immediate and threatening and all the rest of it, but me along with anyone else who heard the news report. Where's
Hmm.
the heat wave? It was warm on Sunday. We did have a lovely weekend, and it was good
Hmm.
to be out and about. But yeah, it's all good here. Yeah,
Yeah.
here's
Rosie's
Rosie's
here.
cottage. Yeah.
Rosie, yes. Good to see you, Rosie. Thank you so much for catching this one. Rosie has always been missing out on all the fun. And then she comes in and the live has ended. So today she's the first one in the room. Okay, we've got a couple more here. So welcome aboard this Royal News Live. Myself and Catherine, just here ready to check in on what has been going on and just to see whether there is anything that has caught people's interests with our royals stepping out and what is coming up in the bag for our royal family. So again, we come on and share those thoughts with you all and the lovely Catherine across the pond here. Catherine,
Thank you,
Prince
Francis.
William is in South Africa.
Mm, he's busy.
Yeah, he's very busy, and apparently he has so far received a brilliant welcome.
Mm,
Straight into activities, throwing the rugby ball up and down as he usually does. And he's there for the Earthshot Prize summit. And of course, this is one of his baby projects. He loves this so much. He's been moving mountains with it, and he's getting everybody, communities, countries, dignitaries on board, and the 1 million prize he gives away to the winners of those projects, environmental sort of projects, has been making differences. These people that have received the 1 million have gone on to make great things in the world of um, environment and coming up with brilliant proposals and um, ideas, all in the name of safeguarding the environment that we are living in today. So, great job by the Prince of Wales. Catherine, what do you think about William's Earthshot Prize so far going forward?
I I I like it. I'm a bit of a skeptic with climate change from the point of view we had um, global warming, we had the broken ozone layer. Now it's changed to climate change. I'm on board with conservation. I think some of these initiatives are amazing. They're so, what I like about it, and I brought what I said in deliberately because he's really got my attention with this initiative because many of the projects, when you look at them, they're so innovative. And who doesn't want the ocean cleaned up? You
Hmm.
know, who
Hmm.
doesn't want that? And so, um, one of our own, Robert Irwin, who is a bit of a legend here in Australia, he's an ambassador for the Earthshot, and he's all into environmental conservation, which I am too. I'm really big on conservation. So I think this is, to me, it's a little bit of a breath of fresh air. I just, you lose me when you start making predictions, about the end of the world and things like this. That loses me because that feels manipulative.
Hmm.
That's why I sort of start to roll my eyes. But I really like what William is doing. William is really interesting.
Hmm.
He,
Hmm.
he's actually a visionary, and he's this is what I've been trying to figure it out. What is it about William? He seems to get people's attention, and his Homeward project has done the same. And we're talking about Earthshot because he's landed. The eagle has landed, but he's a
Hmm.
visionary and he has the capacity to bring people together, and he doesn't push and shove. He draws you in. And yeah, Earthshot, I really like Earthshot Prize. And
Yeah.
yeah, this is a skeptic talking.
It is, it is, and you couldn't have said things any better than you have. We know that this is one of those big and sensitive areas. Every
Mm,
politicians, leaders are
yes.
very skeptic talking more about because they fly private jets. They they
Well, he
own all
got
of these things.
commercial jets, but he and
Yeah,
Catherine do fly commercial regularly. It's not uncommon, but he took a commercial flight to Cape Town.
yeah,
Yay,
yeah.
yay, go William.
He did, yeah. Leading by example, doesn't he?
Mm.
But it's interesting that you talk about William and his sort of likability, because that's what people see in him over the years, especially as his brother, and wife Meghan Markle went the other side, and William carried on the umbrella of these very good policies, community work, never mourning about things. We know how at some point people were on his back saying that, William doesn't do much engagements, he doesn't step out. But he has showed people over the years that he is a good man. He's very consistent. When he takes on projects, he sees them through. And that is very, very important. He hasn't let down, okay, his father, his grandmother, the Queen, who believed in him so much. Princess Diana, his mom loved him so much and always sort of knew that William is going to be what he is today, without a doubt. He always put it out there clearly that William is going to be the responsible one, the one with a good sense of judgment, the leader. And we are seeing these things happen today. So that was really, really good thinking on the part of his mother. And mothers have the blue eyes; they see far than
That's
everybody
such
else
a nice way to put it. Oh, I
in their
like that.
children. Yes. So
Mm.
so she saw through William and said he is going to be the one that will do the job. Look at all the projects he is taking on. Okay. The homelessness project, we know that his mother loved homeless people, visited them, encouraged them, and it was always seen out and about, empowering and calling upon people to recognize and try and provide a home, food for these homeless people. And this is what we are seeing with William do right now, with Homeward Charity. We saw that documentary the other day about William's homelessness, campaigns. Many people were saying, "Who is Prince William to talk up to drive this agenda forward? He doesn't know anything about sleeping rough. He's a very, you know, a royal. What does he know? I think somebody else should have spearheaded these campaigns, not actually knowing that Prince William envisioned this right from the start through his mother, and he promised to carry his mom's legacy through these projects that she too used to love so much. And his likability and professionalism and transparency in doing some of all
Mm,
of these things, you would, just like all our friends in the comments, agree with us that he's the man to create that awareness and bring everybody on board. So he's using his voice, he's using his position in the world today as the future king to show people that, um, we need to line up and support these people so they get to live a life like everybody else, like themselves, the royals. So I think he's doing a great job. And so it doesn't surprise us when he steps out in South Africa and he's welcomed in the way he has. He throws that rugby ball up and down, and everybody comes on board. They want to have those photos taken with the future king, but all in the name of lining up behind somebody they think has a lot of great things he's doing for the world today. So I think this is great. It's great for the royal family. And of course, the king himself is very proud of his son taking on
mm.
projects like this. King Charles himself is a great ambassador of environmental changes and environmental conservation. This is in royal history, isn't it? The Queen herself,
Yes.
the Duke of Edinburgh, the late Prince Philip, when they used to go to places like South Africa, India, what do we see them do? Line up behind elephants, feed the tortoises, and all of these activities that are going to show the world that environment and conservation, preservation is the way to go. So William is very much following in the footsteps of his, grandmother, King Charles, all of that sort of thing. Now, this is very different from what his brother is doing because, of course, when we look at Prince William and Harry and how they are driving their projects, we always want to come to a conclusion that they are leading their projects separate ways. One for the good of everybody, and the other for money, okay, doing it as a business. So there was this debate I came across, and people were saying that, look, Prince William is doing this for the good of everybody, gives out money, £1 million to winners, and to go and utilize their knowledge and ideas to come up with many, many, many other great projects for the good of all of us. What does Harry do? Do they have something similar? Okay, we hear their projects, Invictus, all of that, but we really don't see any prizes as such, and people walking away with something tangible that is going to empower others in the way that Prince William is doing here. Okay, what are your thoughts on that, Catherine?
Well, Harry underestimated the power of the palace. He criticized it, tore it down, ragged on the men in grey suits, ragged on his family, just without without looking at the institution as a power base from which he himself was created. He was shaped by the institution, as Megan always loves to call it, the institution, the institute, oh, the institution. But when you harness what your strengths are, the strengths for Harry were not his intellect. He's good on the sports field, from what we understand. He doesn't like to read books, so that doesn't bode well for his future. I mean, I used to be an avid reader when I was young. I still read, but I'm surprised at what you remember from earlier writings that you read
Mhm,
years ago.
mhm,
So he doesn't speak well even of himself.
Hmm.
So what we see here is Harry and his foundation, Archie Well. Who the hell is Archie?
Exactly.
Archie Well. Oh yeah, it's a well of cash for a couple of grifters.
Okay, yes.
Like, what is the Archie Well? And it's already riven with scandal. They couldn't even get their paperwork.
Registration
Yeah,
and
that's right.
paperwork
Register.
done.
They couldn't get that in on time. So what I'm saying about Harry's and um, Archewell is it's already coming under scrutiny, not good, and uh, and it smells of chaos. Everything
Hmm.
around it is chaotic. Everything around what they do is riven with chaos and disorganized. And I still can't get over when they were in South Africa or Nigeria, I think, when they took the beads out to put on Harry and Meghan. They took them out of white plastic bags.
No.
Like you wouldn't see that with other royals. Now let's go over to William. William appears to be very organized. He he's a he strikes me as a plotter, and that to me is a compliment. He strikes me as someone who thinks ahead. He's a planner. He's studious. This is why the media try to play one brother off against the other brother. And someone said the other day, William is studious and stodgy, and I'm not even going to mention her name, but I thought, oh, what a passive aggressive insult,
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
then they wheel back up to Harry's the happy chappy. Well, William's the one who gets things done, and I watched those documentaries on the weekend. I'm sure most of us have, and I've just finished before we before we went to air to our millions of viewers across the globe. I put together a review and I addressed his critics. I
Hmm.
thought, I thought, these critics say, no, this is for government policy. Well, if government policy were working, we wouldn't have the crisis that we're
Exactly.
facing. You're facing a
Exactly.
homeless crisis in the UK, and so are we in Australia. So that doesn't even hold water. But Williams endeavours, where does it all come from? They've got 6 satellites. They're 500,000 from the Royal Foundation. So we know who, who is behind this. The
Hmm.
Royals, not Archie. Well, we don't even know who the hell Archie is. And he's organized, but he believes in what he's doing. And this is what I really liked. Uh, I've said it. I said it in my review. I'm going to put it up later today. That I don't believe you can end homelessness. So, but I'm not going to like be pedantic about this because William believes in this, and if I don't care if he's a prince, I don't even care how many properties he's got. I've got a nice little place here, and suits me for this time of my life. I've lived in big houses when I was raising my children. I don't need a lot.
Hmm.
Um, do you know what I'm saying? I've got
Yes.
plenty of food. I'm
Hmm.
not looking at William, and I'm not looking at Charles or Camilla. I'm not looking at Catherine's wardrobe. I do look at it and think, "Ooh, I like that."
Hmm.
But I'm not looking with envy. But a lot of criticism, I believe, is driven by the politics of envy and
Hmm.
the class system. But if you don't, to me, William's model is um, he's got what he calls a wraparound support model, right?
Hmm.
And it's a financially viable model, and he draws in charity, churches, government, the private sector, which it's the corporate sector, private sector, and royal patronage.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I don't trust anything that's driven by celebrity culture. Well, celebrities have not wrapped themselves in glory, have they?
Hmm.
Look at
No.
them. Look at what we've going on with Diddy at the moment. Whatever he is, whoever he is, he's just scandalous now. It looks like this scandal's going to be bigger than Epstein. So
Mm,
I commend William. I commend him. He listens. And I said this in my review. I don't want to give too much away, darlings, because,
mm.
it's in my review for later.
Yeah.
I already have given most of it away. But
Yeah.
his heart's in it. And if his heart's in it, he will make mistakes, sure. We all make mistakes. But if his heart's in it, what happens is the universe conspires for your success and leads you in the direction and brings people around you to lead you. And his heart's open. His
Mm,
heart's been bruised in life, and a bruised heart is always able to look at these issues with deep compassion. And his I think his real area of interest, not just the broad homeless question, but it's in the youth. He
mm,
They want to arrest homelessness in the youth. The property in the Duchy of Cornwall is dedicated to emergency housing for youth who
mm.
are out on the street. So I just think he's quite an interesting. He's what I think it is he's visionary.
Mm,
And Andrew Lowney says this. Andrew Lowney, not Lau, Lowney. He says, and he's always looking for scandal. He's writing a book on Prince Andrew at the moment, so he's always looking, you know, putting in freedom of information requests, and he gets, blocked here, there, and everywhere. But he said there's nothing on William. There's plenty of
mm,
scandal on plenty of them, but there's
mm.
nothing. And he said you can't say that about all of them. He said there's plenty on William. And I think his next project after Andrew, that book comes out next year, is Prince Philip. So So,
Yeah,
William is an extraordinary young man, and I
he
believe
is.
he is on the right path.
He is. And what an honor we have to have a great future king in this young man here who is on the right path. He's come through in the hardest and toughest of times, his brother breaking away, and he writes these stories in the books there, and he does interviews and he mourns about how his brother pushed him and has anger issues, all of those things that really would paint a very, very bad image of somebody. Now he says this well knowing that his brother is the future king. Of course, he knew the impact this would have on Prince William's reputation going forward. But what does William do? He doesn't fight back with anger. He doesn't fight
No,
back with victimhood mindset. He doesn't sit there and curl his hands and start crying, "Oh, I'm not this. Look at what they said." It doesn't knock his confidence at all because he's a man of stature. He's a man that is very well educated as well because through education, we learn how to navigate through challenges, grow in resilience. And I think some of the hardships, problems, and challenges Prince William has been going through, part of his strength and stamina and sense of judgment is having so much to do with being well educated. Okay. But also having gone through the hands of his mother, Queen Elizabeth, because this is the thing. I was a royal guard, okay, so worked for the royal family for some good years. And I know people who are in the line, I mean, up in the line of succession. So now we are talking about Prince Charles, how he was at the time, and Prince William, where he is right now. We are seeing a king in waiting. And during those days of Queen Elizabeth, William would spend a lot of time with his mother, and his mother, of course, was preparing him for the tough days ahead, the days we are now speaking about now, and would tell him, listen, this will come up. People would challenge you through this. You'll have a lot said about you, but never allow yourself to be broken and beaten. Just carry on with the job. This is what is going to speak volumes about you. And that is Prince William for you. Even when these writings came up in spare, and people were really not buying into them that much because of the things Prince William does, and how they have looked at his sort of sense of responsibility. And many people say we doubt William could even do such a thing. Okay, so this is how this young man has grown into what he is today. We are around the same age, but what he has achieved, I think, is a lot. And it's not because he's a royal or he's, he's everything. That man works so hard. He really does. He went through the pilot training, and in his time in the army, the military officer. Those are grading courses, very, very hard courses they had to go through. With Prince Harry, they did. But who came out flying in those courses? William did. He was able to pass all of those licenses straight on, whereas his brother struggled somewhere down the lane. But it also comes down to the fact that his sense of responsibility, maturity, attention to detail is top notch. Okay. And so we see him coming, walking, crossing paths with a beautiful wife, very intelligent, very learned. So what are we going to see? A William who is very accomplished with a beautiful, hardworking, supportive wife. And William, a man with a great sense of judgment, very well educated, respectful, very, very respectful, by the way. I would like to highlight that because, again, during my service, so we could see William, who usually visiting us in our camp, in our base. He was the colonel in chief of the Irish Guards before his wife, Catherine, Princess of Wales, became. So they sort of swapped roles. But I understand because, of course, William had to cross over to become the Prince of Wales and therefore get through the Welsh regiment, as it would be naturally as they assume the Prince of Wales title. So, but before then, William was our colonel in chief, and he used to
Mm.
come down to the Irish Guards, give us the shamrocks on St. Patrick's Day, pat our backs and shoulder and say, "Well done, boys." We could go down on exercises sometimes, but you could see a man who was leading, with that sense of respect he had for us. We were boys, nobodies. But when he's there with us, he would like to show us that we come first. He never has things before we do, lunches, all of those things. He never tosses a pint before the boys have had one. We
Oh,
had,
wow.
yeah, we had the London
Mm.
Marathon, not London Marathon, excuse me. I think it was the London 2012
Mm.
Olympics, where the British Army were tasked to manage security issues on those sporting grounds. And who usually came in to check in on us? The Prince of Wales, the Duke of Cambridge at the time, Prince William, could come to our camps. "Hello, boys, have you had something to eat? How are you?" So when he's with us, he's literally down here on the same level. So he's that man who is very sociable, very relatable, very likable. And when it comes to leading these campaigns, that is why he's flying so high. you know, and I like to highlight Rosie's comment here. So he said, he's admired, he has the courage, his beliefs with action, he seems to have genuinely a true heart, and he means what he says. Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
Rosie, you couldn't have said that any better than you have. So
Yeah.
that's the William for you. Speaking about Archwell Foundation, Archwell, you said who is Archwell and where is Archwell? So you
What
can
is
see
what
that
a nonsense.
not even relatable at all. If you're going to carry out a project or spearhead a campaign, make this campaign universal. Okay, come up with a name that is going to be relatable to everybody. But this personifying of this organization as Archwell is very telling of a couple that is driving these projects through their own agenda. So it's theirs. Okay. It appears as though it's operating on wider principles of, uh, leadership, equality, but the projects is themselves are very personified, and people cannot relate at all with these projects. Like just like you say, a short project, it has nothing to do with George and Charlotte's. You know what I mean? Because with
Oh, I do. I'm hearing you loud and clear,
yeah.
Francis. You know, I think this is the frustration many of us feel. What you're expressing, you're giving full expression to that.
Because Archie, well, so Archie, probably what they were meaning was naming the project their son Archie, and then add on the well there to Archie well. But this is not going to be relatable at all. It might be to you, and it comes down to the fact that you talked about their lack of taking in of advice. So they don't want to be advised. So they do things their own way. And when you choose to do things in that sense, you only get so far. And what is also going on is that jealousness, which is now developing because allegedly this started way back, in the royal family between, Harry or is being jealous about his brother. So his brother does that. He wants to do this. He wants to come on top. Those, what they call a bit of unhealthy competition. And when that is there, again, somebody can only get so far. So we are seeing a William here who is not competing with anyone at all. Okay, so he's in it for the good of everybody. When he gives those speeches, these are speeches that are about others and not about him, not about Catherine, not about anybody. He talks about, we are so honored by your support, your
Mm.
encouragement. We admire your great courage. We admire this. So you see that the speeches are empowering others. He's very outward looking as opposed
Mm.
to the other side of the camp. Now, these are all traits of great leaders, traits of people who are very, very interested about how others are doing.
Well said. That's so well said. They are traits of great leaders. Totally. Yeah.
So Dorman here, hello. We tend to forget our great friends here in the comments. Thank you
Well,
so
they're
much,
busy,
guys.
aren't
Yeah,
they?
thank you so much again. We've got the A team, we like to call it, the likes of Donman, Aspi, Rosie, Lisa H. All of them are in here. Welcome aboard. Regina Valeria, welcome. I think we are seeing some really, really wonderful people joining us in these live streams, which is
Mm.
good. So
Mm.
we truly appreciate. Some are. We truly appreciate your thoughts. Keep them coming. Once again, we've got Catherine there, Arroyo Ayota, very, very lovely friend of ours across the Atlantic. Somebody was asking, who is Catherine? Because I had a thumbnail up
Oh,
yesterday.
just an iota on the internet.
Yes, so, so someone was asking,
Yeah.
but I'm very glad
Who
we
is this
have,
woman?
yeah, we have some incredible people, in our audience, so they were able to respond before I did because it's been a mad week beginning. So they said Catherine is the lady in Australia who sits in with Francis on these live streams and literally talk through royal news stories. Please
That's
subscribe to
nice.
Catherine if you're not yet. Her channel is Arroyo Ayota.
Thank
And
you.
you are having a steady growth, Catherine, having to very well done.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And this sort of, it's been your A team and your kind self. I, I'm just a bit amazed actually because it's the last week. It's done remarkably well. It's just taken off. I'm so thrilled, but it's just about the royal family. It doesn't really include any other celebrities like yourself. This is,
Hmm.
you know, my son asked me the other day about it. He just said, he asked me, because they knew growing up what I was, but I was too busy raising my children, taking them backwards and forwards to school. I had four boys in quick succession. And I said to him, because I'm a monarchist, I said, but what did it for me was, and he knew, my children, he remembers John Fay very well. Um, and he said, oh, but he was a Republican. He asked me, he said, but wasn't John Fay? I said, yeah. I said, and the, the worst thing you can do with me is like try to take something away from me, that I believe in, and I'll fight for it. And I said to
Hmm.
him, I told him about certain conversations John and I had, and I said, and I just realized and remembered when I was very little, my parents bought the encyclopedia. Encyclopedia
Wikipedia.
Britannica,
Hmm.
and I've still got them. I still have those encyclopedias, and I used to read them overnight, and I used to love the royal family. I loved it, but I was never passionate about it. It was just in my DNA. It was like,
Hmm.
it's like you've got, oh, long legs, or a pretty face, or something, long fingers, or something. So the royal family was like that for me. It was not something I thought about, but now more than ever, it's really important to hold on to those values and not allow them to be undermined and undercut. I mean, one of the criticisms against William comes from the CEO of the Republic, Graham Smith. Who cares? Who
Hmm.
cares what you think? The best, the best you can come up with is, oh, this should be led by other charities and the government sector. If the government sector is all you've got, it's the
Hmm.
government sector partly responsible for why we're in the mess we're in.
Hmm.
And he recognizes that. William recognizes it, but it's the royal family. It's like you. My channel is that.
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
interested in other cultural issues around. It's about, and it's not about my favorites. It's about upholding the crown, upholding the monarchy. But
Hmm.
William is the future, and I really think it behooves us to focus on the future now because Harry's finished,
Hmm.
and the royal family. Robert Hardman's come out with three new chapters to his book, and he says, the king has to be really judicious in his dealings with and his communications rather with Harry because Harry is in legal battle with over his security in the courts, and the king is very aware that Harry could use something he says against him in the courts, and he
Hmm.
could be compromised and dragged into this
Hmm.
unholy mess.
Hmm.
So Harry's really screwed himself, to
Hmm.
use a culturalism. He's really screwed the pooch here because he he's got nowhere to go. He's run out of road.
Hmm.
And Archie, well, Paul Donovan says something really important here. Prince George's code name was Archie.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, that is, it's
Hmm.
like Lilibet. They can't,
Hmm.
they just are so mean.
Very, very mean.
They
And
just got this mean streak, and Harry went along with it, and people now can see it. But they took his code name, Archie. And
that's what you get. That's what you get with these two. And I doubt whether they would have discussed these things in the background. We know with the owners of these names, and like we heard, the queen was unaware about this Lilibet thing, you know. But what is surprising, hi Joe, by the way, Joe Vickers is another good one of ours here. Thank
She
you
got
for,
in early
yeah, she
today.
got in early
Yeah,
today. Yeah, good
yeah.
to see you as always. Aspi, good to see you too. We've got everybody on board tonight. That is really
Mm,
good. Yeah. So the queen, I mean, this story came up the other day that she was very unaware about Lilibet's naming, so they just went ahead and named their baby that, which shouldn't have been a problem. But I mean, have the courtesy to discuss some of these issues with people. You know, discuss, get some bit of, yeah, blessings from somebody you're going to be using their name to your child. Okay, so but they didn't do this. So it doesn't surprise me when you talk about Archie being the code for, you know, Prince George. So it doesn't surprise me at all, because that is how they have been driving their lives, being sneaky here and there, and you know, wanting to be the people who are going to come up with surprises, but wrong surprises all the time, all the time. So if they decided to run away from the royal family and they were not believing in the royal family's mission anymore, and they thought it was now a bit of old fashioned, the world has moved on, they gave up being working royals in the way they did. Why again still get stuck to, Mm. Why again use names of royals? Why go ahead and tell people to address you as a mom? Okay, you know, like we had in that story, apparently,
mm,
you know, I'd call us mom. You know, it is very telling of a couple that is very hypocritic. Many people like to say that, and that is why they are losing points every single day, every day. But it is, just like you said, uh, great times for us royalists here, because we have used this period of critiquing Meghan and Harry to actually elevate our royals and get to show people the opposite, what true royals do, as opposed to what others who masquerade to be royals are doing. Okay. I think we are very lucky to have
oh,
William.
I
Nice.
agree.
Yeah, because I'm
Mm.
imagining if it was Harry and Meghan in the place of William and
Oh,
Catherine.
doesn't bear thinking about.
Mm. Mm.
Okay, where's my gin and tonic? Oh, oh, stop it, Catherine. It's only eight sort of eight. Yeah, 8:53 in the morning in Australia. Put your gin and tonic away. Oh, it just sends chills down your spine when you contemplate what could have taken place, because history is littered with. Um, I mean, look at Henry VIII. He actually was a
Mm.
spare. He was a
Mm.
spare. He was
Mhm.
a tyrant.
And then see Queen Elizabeth coming into the picture, and all of that. So, but we keep praying things stay as they are now, so we can get to see William and Catherine sit on that throne. Because I think uh, they are going to bring back the great days of the royal family. They are very, very admired by people. They are very adorable, and the support and hard work, the ethics they have will sit well with them being king and queen. Okay, without a doubt.
Mm, mm,
So there is that documentary which came up the other day, the Queen in Waiting. The you know, Catherine is the Queen in Waiting. It was some time back, and they were talking about Catherine's journey and what she has done, her waiting for the 10 years, and you know, again, the history and what she has achieved. And I'm looking at her now, and I'm saying, wow, what we are seeing is all the hard work and the growth and development of this beautiful woman. And we are going to get an accomplished.
Mm.
Queen in Waiting. And the same applies to the Prince of Wales, Prince William now. I mean, remember when they were little boys running around, William and Harry. And so we see them grow up, they go and do the military thing at Sandhurst, and then he graduates as well at some point university, he gets those qualifications, and he starts his first lesson of flying the air ambulance as a rescue pilot. You could see a young man developing, you know, and now he's actually become this very, very responsible, mature man. He stands there to give a speech, and you see a very, very accomplished leader, very confident, um, without coming across as over, like we see the others, the, the Sussexes, the other side. You know, that is what we are very proud of. And as royalists, we have had our quiet days. You know, we've had challenging days with the cancer diagnoses of the King and Catherine. But we know that these have only been the tough times, and we are rolling. We've been through harder times. The royal family has seen so many hard days. But every hard day that they face, they grow in resilience. The people learn to appreciate them more, like we are doing right now. So we are very lucky, and everyone in the comments here, I think, will agree with us that Prince William, okay, he's in South Africa for his Earthshot Prize. He's received some criticisms over the years, and the other day they were criticizing his um, spearheading of this homelessness project. Many people thinking, oh, a prince, what is he really going to talk about? Homelessness. He's never experienced being homeless. Um, but people will always say those things. Okay, you can't please everybody. We know that. And most of the time, these people are probably people that are on the other side of the camp, the Sussex squad. Okay, but that won't phase us at all, will it, Catherine?
Well, no, I think that they've been reduced in numbers, the Sussex squad, and I understand there's a woman in the UK facing court for some, uh, you know, quite incendiary comments, repeated comments online against the palace and the royals. So um, Boozy's been exposed. Omid Scobie has exposed himself. You know, at the end of the day, I brought it up in our last feed. You know, when someone tells you who they are, shows you who they are, believe them the first time. You know, don't fall for it a second time. Believe them the first time. So a lot of these, even some Russian bots, you know, I mean, what a waste of money on their part. Their money would have been better spent investing in something. I mean, for 5 years, the Royal Foundation is donating 500,000 to each satellite city in the Homeward Project over 5 years. So that's
Hmm.
6 sites will receive 500,000 a year over 6 years. But all we see from Harry and Meghan turning up with jam, you know, or turning up at on the graves of children who'd been gunned down in a photo shoot. It's really vulgar. It's just so empty. It's so self aggrandizing. And this is what I like. I was so happy to see those documentaries. I thought, oh, and my son has Disney, you know, so he created an account for me. So I was so thrilled because I did gain some insight into William's character. And I like what I see. I really do. I appreciate where he's coming from and I appreciate his good intentions. And I see a man who's really suffered too. You have to sometimes, you know, allow your own heart to open up to another person, because when they are like at this stratosphere, sometimes we close ourselves off, But I thought, oh my gosh, you've really suffered. You can feel it.
mm,
And what I think is driving him on is the future of his own children. This is why Harry and Meghan doing what they did with their invisible kids. It's a little bit, you know, it was very short sighted what they did because they're not going to succeed. William is concerned about the future of his own children. So to have planted two anchor babies, two Sussex anchor babies in the line of succession is an overreach that will not go unaddressed under King William. So I really like what I see with William, and it's taken me a while to get here because he's made a few mistakes in the past that haven't impressed me very much.
mm,
But the jury is in now for me.
mm,
I like to weigh things up, and I don't jump in. That's one of the things my son said to me. Why are you in on Charles now all of a sudden? I said, well, he's the king. I said,
mm,
if I vote for a party, I'm, you know, centre right. If I vote for a party and they have a leadership change, I've grown in some
mm,
cases, but I don't go over and then vote for the other side. I
mm,
have to
mm,
live with what I've got. And I said, and this is a really important point. Well, I think it is. I think it's an important point. So if I think it is, it is. But we really need to uphold Charles and Camilla. We need to strengthen them in with our own hearts, get behind them, and pray for a long life for the king, because we don't want William and Catherine to get there too soon.
mm, mm, mm. The
We,
praying,
they, yeah, they
they
need
are.
time. Go on,
I
sorry.
agree. I agree with you. They need time to raise their little ones because they are very, very young. I mean, look at Louis, very, very young. Charlotte, George, and William and Catherine are very, very hands-on parents. Very, very hands-on than people can imagine. And I speak from a position of having seen them before with how, as being a royal guard, and how days like returning back to school were very important for them. So they are actually dropping off those kids by themselves to school, pick them up. Okay, so the homework at home, here in UK, kids bring back their homeworks, and the parents actually sit on the tables and
Mm,
write out this homework, with the kids. So William and Catherine are very, very hands-on, very
it's
involved in
lovely.
that. Yes, and that's why you see their children are very, very close to their parents. And you read all
Mm,
these signs when you see kids and parents out on
mm,
engagements, how they are very clingy sometimes, how they are very playful. They run and sit on dad's lap, mom's lap, you know, you know, how Catherine relates with the children when they're a bit naughty on the balcony. These are all behaviors of parents who are fully immersed and engrossed in that upbringing of their children um, without delegating to nannies and that sort of thing. We see with the Megans and the Harrys with Doria coming to live full time, and then we see Harry go away to United States. They've traveled and he stayed away for such long periods of time,
mm,
away from the children because they have nannies behind the scenes, probably looking after these kids. But William and Catherine are really, really hands on parents. And for
mm.
them, raising their kids and seeing them through these initial stages is very important. And that's why, like you said, uh, King Charles is playing a very pivotal role, very, very pivotal role in this transitioning here. Okay, and we want him to hold up as much as he can. I mean, we want to see William, we want to see Catherine get onto
Oh,
that throne.
we can't wait,
But yeah,
honestly.
but
Yeah.
we are very sensible to understand that there is no need for them to rush, because we know sitting on that throne is also not an easy job. Okay, if you're
I
having,
do.
yeah, if you're
No,
having
go
a,
on.
if you're having a family, young kids to look after, and you're having to travel away for long periods of time, that is in itself is very draining. Okay, so you're very, very right. Let them hold up a little bit, King Charles, Camilla, and they are also doing a great job, by the way. King Charles waited for how many years? 73 to sit
Mm,
on that throne.
mm.
73 years. So let the man enjoy a little bit. Let him have
Yes.
some bit of, yeah, excitement on that throne. Okay.
Mm,
So we were reading behind the scenes last time that power is slowly starting to transcend
mm,
into
mm,
Prince William's hands. But it is going to be a gradual process, not all at once. Okay. The same thing we saw with Queen Elizabeth, by the way. Um, when Queen Elizabeth slowly started to bring out King Charles, give him more engagements, changed the headship of Commonwealth, and gave that to Prince William. So, I mean, sorry, to King Charles, Prince of Wales, as he was at the time. So, we saw elements of power being transferred to King Prince Charles before he even became king. So those processes are always there. Sometimes we don't see them, but they are happening. And even with
mm,
Prince William
mm.
right now, the processes have already started, because
Yeah,
some of
I
these
believe so. Yeah.
yeah, some of these engagements we see William attend on behalf of his father. So he's representing his father here. The other day he went to Scotland to carry out an engagement on behalf of his father. So these processes have started, but they are slowly taking time to sort of throw all of this to Prince William, because he needs to raise his family. Okay, so before we come to the end of this live stream, Catherine, we would also again like to check in with our friends in the comments section. They are doing very well. Sam here says, I think Henry the Sixth, he was the son of Henry V. Okay, but that's a guess. I think they have their good debates going on here. Megan
Yeah, yeah,
allegedly took photos of Charlotte when she slept. If that was true, is
yeah,
very
yeah.
disturbing behavior. So you see, it's people are well ahead in
Mm.
these stories. Okay. And so we have Rosie's here says the youngest king was Henry the Sixth, who was 8 months and 26 years old at the time. His father was Henry the. Okay, so great history here shared by our friends. Very well done. Very, very well done. So we are closing in on Remembrance Sunday, Catherine. So we know that we could see another appearance for the Princess of Wales um, at the cenotaph, the balcony where they stand.
Mm, mm.
So sources are claiming that we could see another appearance for Catherine, Princess of Wales, on the day. So there is a lot coming up for our dear Catherine. She is really, really working hard behind the scenes with her early childhood projects. She's meeting some of these champions of early childhood at Windsor Castle. So these royals are working left, right, center, doing a great job. And the king admires the Prince of Wales so much that all of these invite Catherine coming now to attend the Remembrance Sunday, allegedly Catherine's appearance at the balcony. These were all gestures from the king requesting kindly for Catherine to show up if she feels strong. So when you have a monarch, okay, that believes in not only his son but also daughter-in-law, what a blessing! What more
Mm,
blessing do you
mm,
want to get
mm.
as the queen, future queen consort? Mm.
Yeah, you're so right. I think that that synergy between, so it comes with maturity comes with age. There's maturity beyond your years, but there is a maturity that comes from hard lessons learned. And the support from his son William, I think, means a great deal to the king. You get this sense that the king is very grateful that William is there in his corner. He's with him. And I don't believe it's just because he's the heir. Of course, that's a big part of it. But William's moved on. William has clearly come to grips with his own demons and the ghosts of the past and forgiven his father, forgiven um, a lot of what took place. And I think that that relationship there, and he adores Catherine. You could see the king just loves her. You could tell the way he gives her a kiss and embraces her, and he had her on the balcony beside him. I mean, that must be really forging some very deep bonds. The father
and and
suffering
and
with
and
cancer and his wife.
yeah, absolutely. That's really, really great to see. And
Mm,
part of that as well is the fact that Catherine herself is very respectful of
mm,
King Charles. The king is the father-in-law. Okay. And you know how, ladies, you married into a family and your father-in-law is coming, and how, you that respect. But there are also some women, I've seen some of these in my culture, that don't respect father-in-laws at all.
mm,
They shout at their husbands in front of their fathers-in-law. They do this. But look at how Catherine respects King
mm,
Charles so,
mm.
so much. And some of these values that Catherine embodies of respect, compassion, uh, are some of those things that the king admires in her and would like to see her sit on that throne, as queen
Mm,
consort one
mm.
day. So we are very blessed to have her. And I know she's gone through a very, very difficult time with her
Yeah.
cancer, diagnosis, the chemotherapy, and then the hate that followed that online with people across the other camp throwing in all sorts of things. Or she's run away, she was beaten, she's look at her fingers, they are solid taped, so maybe William did this to them. It's a lot of all of those things. But see how she sweeps through all of that and comes out to be very courageous. She always fights back with kindness. I she shows up with this video appreciating everybody for the support. Okay, she doesn't make this sort of blow this horn and say, "Hey, I'm the most hated or abused or whatever online." Like, Meghan Markle said the other day, "Oh, I'm the most." What did she say? She's the most
The most
abused
bullied person online.
and the most
Give me a
bullied
break.
person online. And who says so? Where was it written? Okay.
Well, she said it to a group of kids. She was in a school classroom. It's really
That's not
obscene.
empowering at all.
No,
That's
it
not
doesn't empower
painting.
anyone.
No, that's not painting a good picture of yourself when you tell
No.
people that you're the most, bullied person. So obviously, these kids were probably looking at her and saying, "But why?" Okay, so that draws more scrutiny to yourself. So, but we never see Catherine saying that. She's a very positive woman. So all of these traits really, really make a great queen consort. And I think Prince William over the years has also started picking up some of these things from his wife, because they say strong woman, behind a strong woman there is a
Yes.
man, behind a strong man there is a woman. So these two would be learning from each other. I know Catherine stepping out for the first time and giving speeches, and how that was very challenging. You could see her nerves punching through, but over time, she has grown out of that, and you could see Prince William sat on this on the side when Catherine is giving speeches, and Prince William is there clapping hands. Well done, you've done so well. When she leaves that podium, that sort of
Mm,
supportive nature they
beautiful.
show to each other is what has made them very strong, built that bond. And the king loves to see that, his son getting on very well with the
Mm,
wife. Okay. So there is that documentary, you've watched it, about the Prince of Wales. I think there was an interview, and Prince William was asked some question about them growing up, and somewhere I think he mentions Harry, and
mm.
very very telling of a prince that doesn't keep anger on his heart. In a way, he just rolls on with the moment. I mean, people were saying, "Oh, this is an olive branch uh, given to his brother." He shouldn't have mentioned Harry anywhere. But he only did that because the question and the context of that question, if he hadn't mentioned Harry, what would they say? Oh, it is a snub. Okay, William snubs his brother. But he played it really well and said, me and Harry, when we were growing up, these are things we would see happening, and we thought, oh, that wasn't the right way to go about stuff. But that is all telling of a man, who is just inside out, unfazed with what his brother is doing to him. He's just carrying on with the job. And that is what people are judging him on. Okay.
Oh, he rose above the situation, and he's the future king. He can't afford to be seen to be grudging and petty. I think it was a very classy move, and I don't think we should be surprised by it because his brother Harry is there. They have the
Mm,
same mother, and
mm,
we shouldn't be surprised by this. He's a class act, William.
He's a class
Everyone
act.
was so surprised. Like, how many branches are left on that olive tree? Come on.
Give it a
It's
branch.
just so the
That does
media
not,
is
yeah.
also running out of road.
Yeah, yeah, and that mentioning of Harry in that context that William did is in no way meaning that, oh yeah, so this is they've sorted things out. Or maybe that is a sign that relationship is back. These two are going on well. It isn't a sign at all. We know that there is still that line drawn between William and Harry. They've not been on
Hmm.
speaking terms. They attended a funeral the other day, but they didn't speak on this funeral. They, I think, uh, when was it? In October? Was it October? Yes, around the 22nd, 20th of October. What day was it when Prince Harry attended the Princess Diana Awards in New York? So, and these awards have also been taking place, they take place every year. The other year they took place here. Prince William attended in person. Harry delivered a speech which was posted online, so he appeared via video link. But he did show Prince William left before Harry appeared on video link.
Yeah.
Very telling that he couldn't even stand there and just sit and look at this man who's talking all this trash about the royal family, and he sat there listening to him. No chance. Um, so it doesn't mean that he mentioned Harry in this recent interview about his homelessness project. It doesn't mean he's extending an olive branch or he's very happy about his brother. No, he's just showing the world that when it comes to, okay, he's him being him, and he answers questions straight without having any connotations to them. But that doesn't mean their relationships have been sorted. It's gonna be a a
Yeah.
long way back
Yeah.
in for Harry, and until we have already said this and this and this, until we see that apology, and I don't think William is even thinking of shaking hands anytime soon, because he doesn't welcome anybody that is going to come in the way of the smooth operations of this monarchy. William protects this crown so
Yes.
badly. He is
Yes. Yeah.
protecting the legacy
Yeah.
of his mother. That's why he stands there and tells people, we are very much not a racist family. Okay, that's why he stands his ground when he's one of the people who are constantly, making it very clear that the Sussexes will not stand on that balcony, make any of those balcony appearances, because of what they did. He simply
Yeah.
wants people on board who are agreeing with the values of the royal family and who are very respectful of the legacy of Queen Elizabeth. And certainly it's not those two. I see what's going
No,
on in
it's
the.
not. And I think there's some good comments actually, because I know we're coming to the end here. Uh, I think it was, I just want to go back to, it's just a
Mm,
simple thing, but it's a technicality, Lisa H. An olive branch represents a grafting on, not a giving away of free forgiveness. You're right about that. You're actually
mm,
right, because I've often wondered why it's always used, the media overuse it.
mm,
And yeah, so yeah, I just thought I'd roll back to that one. Oh,
mm,
Elsie says, um, wrong, was a Freudian slip, Francis. What was a Freudian slip? Tell us. You mentioned Freudian. You know what Freudian's obsessed with?
mm. Which one is
Yeah,
that?
I think you're right. I'm not quite sure because there's an ongoing conversation. I don't know what
Mm,
the Freudian slip was. I, I'm being really cheeky now because, they say that Freud was obsessed with, sex. And so we're trying to figure out what this Freudian slip was. You know, but we know that, Harry has an Oedipus complex. So I'm saving your skin here, Francis.
yeah, as always.
They got
Thank
some really
you.
good conversations going on. It's really
Yes,
good.
yes, they have. And Christmas is drawing closer and closer. The invitations we had being sent out, royals meeting at, Sandringham for the annual Christmas meetup. And apparently, again, Meghan and Harry won't be receiving those invitations, but we know why they won't, because it isn't news now that the royal family, technically, as we have been seeing them go through events year after year, have moved on. They don't want any of that fracas, any of the stress, bringing people in that are not going to be trusted, people who haven't shown remorse for what they have done, but they are still carrying on with their projects, spare the paperback version and all of these things. Meghan Markle calling UK a very unsafe place for her to come unless they give her security, and Prince Harry dragging his father's government to court for security and having to stand in the box to testify and give evidence. All of those things that a royal should not be involved in,
Mm,
and you expect the royal family to still bring those to table for dinner, for like Christmas parties. No chance.
no, No, people see through it. It's just it's like the divorce rumors. I believe that all of those, I believed it at the time.
Mm,
And they was just a diversion. And I felt it was, I'm not saying the marriage is sound, but I'm just saying the divorce is not on the horizon just yet. It's a bit early yet.
mm.
They've got other problems, and Trump could be, elected in the next. I'm not sure.
Wait,
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Well, it's the fifth.
tomorrow? Is it
Yeah, tomorrow.
tomorrow?
So it's the fifth today.
Mm,
So they've got a lot on their plate, the Sussexes, and all of their own doing.
mm,
Such a pair of dimwits, honestly. What they've done. It's just when you look at it, you think, who said Meghan Markle was really intelligent? I don't know. They were talking out of their hat.
mm,
So
mm.
all these moves they've made, they're not even amateurish. And I
Very,
want to go. I want to go
very
back to
unwise.
Archie and Lilibet. Who takes a child's security name like that?
Mm,
Oh, so nasty. Who
mm,
does that? Like, how old was he when she did that? And then they named their boy after his security name and then name a foundation after him. Oh, it just speaks to the character. It's
mm,
just so, it's so nasty.
mm,
I can't, it takes my breath away what they've done because
mm.
I'm not saying I'm no saint. Oh my God, I'm anything but. But I don't like nasty, mean people. I just, you know,
It is. It is what they have done that is going
mm,
to live with them forever.
it's
Because
their legacy.
yes, the legacy that everybody is going to know them for what they have done, and it's going to be very difficult for them to do anything meaningful without having those labels, labels on. So they've put themselves in that situation, and the only way they can come out of it, if there is, if there is to just literally shout out that they take back whatever they've said and return that money to Penguin Random House that they were paid to produce that book
Ouch.
fair. Yeah, return that and tell us to give this back because all of these were lies, which is impossible. They can't do it because they've already used the
So
money,
good.
haven't they?
Oh,
So
it's
that's
so good, Francis. What a suggestion. Put your money where your mouth is.
exactly.
Very good,
Okay,
Francis.
yeah. But they thought, they would leave the royal family and go out there and monetize their activities because being what they are, they thought they were not earning enough by staying in, which is quite a shame because when you step into positions like theirs, you are going to be somebody who's going to serve others without expecting anything. You see, Prince William is stepping out on these engagements. He's not being paid a salary. He's not, he's just doing it for the good of others. And so we had these stories. Oh, they have, uh, they are the richest. So they've had land here, property, and they've made money here, rent. That money is not there. So all of those projects, that is the crown. It stays there. It's whoever comes to that throne, all of those riches belonged to Queen Elizabeth. Okay. She had how many endorsements? Hundreds and thousands of endorsements from businesses, from what? But these are royal endorsements and they stay there to serve the crown, the communities, these charities you see. That is what that money is for. It's not for them. Okay, you will never see Prince William drive a Hummer, a Ferrari, a Porsche, or these fancy cars. No, all those vehicles chauffeuring royals up and down. These are vehicles that are transporting working royals. If they are not on working duty and all of that, William and Catherine are walking down the shops to go and buy milk like normal people. I want you to see Catherine going to attend Prince George's after school club football sessions. She's just like a normal woman. She's wearing her, hoodies are very normal. She's not working. She only has all of that glitter when she's working because that comes as part of the gear for work. Okay.
Mm,
But that wasn't enough for Meghan and Harry. They thought they needed to go out there and make money. That's why when you see them, they have all this convoy, 6 cars, seven following on, and you see security, including sniffer dogs and everything. They don't need all of that. They really don't. Okay. And Prince Harry saying that my wife and children can't come to the UK until you give us police security. What are they? Who are even, does because when they are coming here, they are going to be mixing with other royals. They're going to be attending the same functions other people are attending. So, what sort of security do they want different from the security provided to all the royals and the dignitaries on site? So this is where people criticize these two for being too self-serving, very obsessed with popularity, fame, money, power, and they are hiding under this umbrella of we are serving people, Archwell Foundation, Invictus Games, but with no real sense of, I don't know what to call it, but somebody wrote it in the comments somewhere down. I can't pull that up, but was it Lisa? Was it someone says, you know, said that William has that real genuine sort of heart,
yeah,
and this is
he
not.
does.
This is something that we are not seeing with these two, Meghan and Harry. So mm, people are not wrong to criticize them at all. And for as long as they are going to be leading these projects in the way they are always going to meet these criticisms.
Oh, it's so true.
Mm.
And remember, there was a hit job on William when he went, um, was it to Boston and with that Fugazi lady and Lady Hussey, and it was terrible. I actually wasn't happy with the way the palace handled the issue over Lady Hussey, but that huge attack came again, like it was just this onslaught, and and it was William, and what he did was he responded mid-air instead of, I think, maybe waiting it out a little bit until he landed. But so he's now in Cape Town, and what have we got again over the weekend? This concerted attack with Channel 4 and the Times, and just this total onslaught. Now, I'm not suggesting that all their properties are in good shape or whatever, but they are private enterprises. The royal family own those. And someone says here, very, very good, King, about attacking Cornwall. Charles inherited it, and when he did, it was a money drain, and he turned it
Mm.
around. And he turned it around with his, all his organic and natural ideas. He did it
Mm.
like that.
Mm.
He was ahead of his time with that because I was actually in on all of that with him in the beginning because that's where I am. I'm in that space. And he was ahead of his time, and people were laughing at him, talking to plants. And at the time, I remember I thought, well, I talk to my plants, like I kiss them. You're doing very well, keep going. So he turned that whole thing around, and people were mocking him, and he was ahead of his time. Look at it now, it's profitable. So, what are we saying? You know, William has had this attack now, and it's after the Australian tour, and it's
Mm.
now at the back. But I don't think William's going to be swayed by this at all. The house is on fire. Well, not, this is, I just think it'll be hold my beer, not
Yeah.
today. I think that's how William's going to handle it because this is why the media are quick to get in on William, because he he does things his own way. And
Mm,
the media, the way they release photos on their own social sites, the media, he's no puppet. He's not going to be
mm,
pushed around. And I'm
mm,
just going to be interested to see how the royal family respond to this. But I
mm,
want to tackle the issue of security. If I just want to back up, I watched the documentary online the other day of Frogmore Cottage, and I could see how Charles' strategy now, the king's strategy with his brother, because he was going to remove funding for his
from his,
security.
mm,
Yeah. And then he said, I want you, you can do what you want, but I'm recommending you move over into Frogmore Cottage. Now, Frogmore Cottage is sizable. It's not what it was back in the day when Queen Charlotte resided there with her children. But what I didn't know is the Frogmore estate, this is something I learned, is inside the ring of all of the social of all security.
mm,
Frogmore Estate is inside that. So
mm,
that's why he's suggesting you go over there. Whereas
mm,
Windsor Castle is not, and the security for Windsor Castle is separate and has to be
mm,
paid for independently. And
mm,
whether they do that is another matter. But I can see now why the issue of security became a thing in the beginning, and now he's withdrawing his allowance because he's
mm.
trying to move. So if he goes over into Frogmore Cottage, he gets security, comes under the royal security because that's
Mm.
where the
Just
Frogmore estate is covered by that
absolutely,
security.
absolutely. Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
not all it's not all
It's not
bad.
what, no, it's not what the media is trying to turn it out.
No,
So King Charles is withdrawing, security is withdrawing this allowance from his brother. He doesn't like his brother. No, he's not.
no, they
He's
get on
not.
well.
They get on well, and he's doing that to save some money, because this money could go to something more important, more meaningful. It's all part of the plan to sort of limit these costs and expenditures, and just allocate money to where it is really really needed. Okay, so I tend not to go so much into you know Prince Andrew, and because I think this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
family sort of business.
yeah, I
But what?
agree.
Mm,
But
mm,
that security issue is important though,
mm, mm,
because when Harry and Meghan were in Frogmore, they had all that. They
mm,
had all that and more.
mm,
So, and Prince Philip warned them when they said, we want to go stateside. He
mm,
warned them what was at stake. They were
mm,
warned. You can't
mm,
take this with you. This is not doesn't translate into where you're going, which is a republic.
mm,
And
mm,
they were warned, but they had security, they had everything. When he's
mm.
in England, he has security. If he is going to be on royal business, or, if he stayed in the palace, I can't stay there. It's not secure. What a lot of BS.
I
How
know.
does he? I just the guy. That's why he's always stoned because he makes these stupid comments.
They just need to be stripped off the
Yep.
royal family website, and just,
Yes.
yeah, that they just need Andrew himself, Harry, they need to come off if they are not in any sense, shape, or form working, supporting the royal family in any shape or form. They need to come off the royal family website, and especially Meghan and Harry. I don't see what they are doing on that website. I really don't, because I mean they are pushing their own agenda, which isn't even sitting well
Mm,
by the looks of it with the royal family. Why are they even sat on there? The royal family is
mm,
doing everything, good to them, and but look what the royal family is getting from these two. So I think somebody passed a petition some time back, and say strip them off the royal family website, and, and get those royal titles off them, because they are not, the British public is not in any way, shape, and form gaining from these people by them sitting on a government, because the royal family is like a government website as well. How many people visit that website a day? And I'm going to tell you this. I was reading an article the other day, and they said that people every day visit the royal family website for just one thing, to see whether Meghan and Harry have been dropped off that, royal family website. So people are just constantly checking in. Have they dropped them off? Oh, they're still on. Why? You know, it's very telling, isn't it, of a situation where people are
Mm.
just so fed up.
The royal family know that.
And the royal
The royal
family.
family know it.
So, but anyway, I think we've had a
Yeah.
good natter.
Oh, good natter. Oh my gosh, I haven't heard that since my nana. Oh, it's really wonderful, Francis. I enjoy your company. Yeah,
Me
just enjoy
too.
hanging out with you.
Me too. And our dear friends in the
Yeah,
comments, they are
yeah.
so adorable. And their level of thoughts in these
Yes,
comments is so
yes.
immense. Very well done, every single one of you. And when we come and hang out here on these lives, we are just literally having fun, talking about the great work of our royals. Please remember to check in if you're still subscribed, because YouTube apparently unsubscribes people somehow. I don't know how that happens, but please subscribe. Visit Catherine's channel as well. She's great. She's doing some great work. Catherine, you're coming to the UK next year, isn't it, for the
I am,
King's
yes.
coronation? No, sorry, King's birthday parade.
Well, yes, I've been taking my time with an itinerary, etc. But my family is setting up. We've already talked about, they want to actually put some money into an account. So I'm going to set up a separate account, and because they really want me to go. And
Hmm,
I've got, I'm fine. I'm
hmm,
just saying though that it's really lovely to have the support of my family, and
hmm,
so this week it really took a very concrete turn. That's what I'm saying. When money starts being put down, you know that things are moving well. So I've been saving my pennies, as you put it, and I'm looking forward to it. I just need to decide on the itinerary, really, and
hmm.
so that I just can't wait. And I thank every one of you, and Francis in particular, for saying, get out your elbow pads, get out for the Royal Tour. And I did, and I only did it because I thought, oh, the expectations are really high, and it wasn't easy, but I did it, and now I know I can do the Tripping of the Color because I had some reservations.
Mm,
I lead a quiet life. I've just, um, and I am quite an introvert. I know it doesn't look like it, darlings. I know, but I am. And
yeah.
but I know I can do it now. And I can't wait to meet Francis. I
Oh
think,
yes.
Francis, you're going to organize some teas
Oh,
and
we'll have,
tours, aren't
yeah,
you?
we'll have some cup of teas here, and our
Yeah,
friends here. We were thinking of at least doing something like an afternoon tea
yeah.
out in London on the day. Somehow, if we could arrange that, if there is a way we could. But also, I would like to support you, Catherine, if you need any support with coming across, whether it's us making a contribution to your ticket to come and attend the Trooping of the Color. It would be nice for us to get
Oh,
involved.
oh, come
So,
on. Wow.
so just let us know, and we see maybe we could come up with a pot of funds somewhere, and sort of put in something for you to add onto your ticket, because coming across here is quite expensive as well, isn't it? Very
Mm,
expensive. So we can all do with support for each
thank
other.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I do have a Buy Me a Coffee fund.
Mhm.
There's a link on my
Have you
page.
put that
Uh,
up? Yes.
yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
wasn't going to do that, but my son. just said, Mum, and then I've got the birthday around the same time, which is the reason, I have a royal birthday. My
Mm.
birthday's at the same time as, the Queen's. So, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. But
So we
that's what he
will.
said. Yeah, he
Yeah.
said, don't worry, we're going to put money in, Mum. He said, we really want you to have fun. We don't want you to be worrying about things.
Mm,
And
mm,
so I
mm.
was really touched. I thought, oh, how gee whiz.
Yeah, yeah. Oh
How
no.
beautiful.
I know we adore you, Catherine, for your, great work, for your
Oh,
compassion and,
you're going to make me
everything.
cry.
No, you deserve it. You really deserve great things,
I
Catherine.
just shed a
Honestly.
tear with my
So,
my Australian flag.
we
Just
do, and it
wipe
will,
my tears with my Australian flag.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know, Francis. I feel a bit embarrassed.
No,
Thank you.
don't. Yeah.
Thank you.
So your link, please let it stay up there. Buy me a coffee. We will, try and get through that, and any support we can is important for us to get you across here. To
Thank you.
because don't forget your channel is also being watched by friends in Australia who would like
Yeah.
to have an update from an Australian on ground. I know. I mean, you've got British citizenship schedule, but they still look at you as the Australian who's come to report back to them.
Hmm.
So it would be great to see you down here. And I
Thank
think
you.
as we go ahead, I think we'll always be catching up with where you are and how you're getting on with your flights, and if you have those definite dates, because you can't have them now because these trooping of the color dates tend to change.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
so it's usually between the first week or the second or third week of June time. But we will get those details as
Yeah.
we go
Yeah.
along. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Right.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you, boys and girls.
Yeah. So I want you to say the last word to our friends here, Catherine, and just sign us off for this live stream.
Oh, thank you very much, Francis. You're a wonderful, generous host, and I I'm going to say this. One of the loveliest things that's happened, not just this year, but in a long time, now I am going to cry,
Mm,
is meeting you and the inclusion in your royal catch-ups and reports. It's really been life-changing, and I'm not overstating it. I don't want to sound dramatic, but it's true. And I do feel a bit emotional about it, and such a lovely A team. But I do appreciate talking about William today. I think the future is really where we're going now, and
mm,
poor old Harry and Meghan. It's not fair to kick a guy when he's down, but he's always going to give us something, isn't he? Let's face it.
mm,
There's always going to be something to talk about, but it's not like we're looking for it. We got plenty to go on with William, Catherine, and George. And prayers for the king. Long live the
mm,
king.
indeed, indeed. And with those final words, dear friends, we will catch up with you again at some point this week, maybe around Friday or Saturday. But let's see how stories play out. You will always be the first to know via the community page, isn't it, Catherine?
Yes, yeah. Thank
Right.
you.
And you
I,
too. Good
yeah.
night,
Bye,
everyone. Please
sweetie darlings.
arise. Bye
Thank you,
bye.
Francis.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye.